Alrighty, here we are. Bullwebs.org, this is Enda here. Welcome back to the weekend update. And it's actually the weekend this time. It's Friday afternoon, and it is time to recap what has happened this week. Even though this week is not finished yet, we're still a whole day's trading ahead of us. However, let's go through the markets and we'll see where we stand. I'm going to start with the dollar FX. And by the way, if you like what I do, head over to bullwebs.org, check out sign up to the newsletter, check out the membership options, and that's that. Okay, this is euro dollar as the 4-hour chart. As you can see, go to the daily chart for a second. You can see I'm tracking this 1-2 pattern for a long time now. The 4-hour count, you can see that's the wave 1 top, wave 3 down in A, 3 up in B, B wave lower high, and then we're working our way lower in C. That's the idea. You can see here the wave B top at 111.39, and we seem to be on track, at least this week, to head down into wave C. At the moment, there's a couple of ways of viewing this particular pattern. Probably will change it up a bit right now as I look. I'm going to go up by 1 degree. And you can see, you'll see why in a second, but suffice to say, I think it's come down large enough to do this. Objects, no, go back there, change to wave 2. Okay, so we've got ABC pattern wave 2. That's what we were looking for that early this week or late last week. And we moved down impulsively this week. We've got a 5-wave pattern lower, either at Thursday's low or depending on which way you want to look at it, it could be Wednesday's low as well. Suffice to say, we've got a corrective pattern moving sideways for the last 2 days. I've been kind of looking at this 109.30, 109.50 area as a possibility top for wave 2, and from there we should head lower into wave 3, and we're probably going to reserve that for next week now. At this point, it doesn't look like wave 2 is complete yet, so I think we'll probably head higher, break 109, maybe around 109.30. We'll start looking for a top there in wave 2, and then early next week, early Monday, would head down into wave 3. That's the idea. On the 4-hour count, you can see, right, the initial decline is not as large as the previous B wave, but I think it's large enough to suggest that this is a 1-2, 1-2 pattern, and wave 3 should bring this pair probably back towards 105 again, I'd say. So you're talking about wave 1 and 2, and then this acceleration lower in wave 3 should probably bottom out around 105. And that's the outlook, I'd say, for at least the next week anyway. Okay, so wave 2 high at 109.98 must hold. Let's move on. Okay, cable. At the moment, we have, again, a similar kind of stair-step pattern working off the high. If it's a wave 2 top, then we should be heading down a large degree wave 3. It's a similar pattern here as well. We've got a 62% retracement this morning, and that's what I was looking at last night, 127.13. And we have a bit of a rejection of that at the moment. So if we get follow through, if we break wave 1, so it's 125.96, then that'll suggest wave 3 of 3 is underway. We'll revisit this again tonight and we'll see how we stand. The pattern has worked in dollar yen quite well this week. It looks like we're in a third wave up. And this could be just wave 3 of wave 1 of wave 5. So there could be some fireworks coming here. Pretty lady. So this could be, wave 1 of 5, where wave 5 takes us. Hold on, excuse me. I'm trying to put in the explanations as I talk. So wave 1 may take us out above 150, where wave 5 takes us. How far could wave 5 go? We could be talking somewhere above 160, maybe 170, maybe higher. You can see at least this moment, the main pattern is working quite well. And just like we turned lower off the wave 3 top and we were looking for that. If you go back to the videos back in November, we were looking for a top in wave 3 to reverse. We came down, we were looking for a low, round down around 140. We got that low and we've got that nice impulsive looking rally off that at the moment. So at the moment we're looking at possible 5-wave pattern higher in wave 1 of 5. You can see, I think we can probably discard this alternate account now. You got this 1-2 in blue, 1-2 in pink, and acceleration in wave 3. This is like a quintessential Elliott pattern. When it works great. It looks like we've got some sort of a fourth wave correction going on right now within wave 3 of 3. I think we still got further to go to complete wave 3 pink. And I would like to see a break above that 149 level. The reason being that level marks where wave 1 in blue and wave 3 in blue reach equality. So wave 3 will kind of have hit its minimum target at that level. So, but I still don't think it's complete at that level. But anyway, for next week, it looks like we'll complete wave 3. Maybe we'll correct in wave 3 in pink. Maybe we'll correct sideways in wave 4 before heading higher again in wave 5. So at this point, it's kind of so far so good. Let's keep it going. The Dow, not the same can be said for the Dow. We still haven't reversed. We've got a solid 3-wave pattern into a new high, so it's a B wave. This is not something to get comfortable with. We've got a nice 3-wave rally off the COVID lows, I suppose you can call it, that what's that, October 22 low. The initial rally gave way to a long sideways move, a year-long sideways move, basically. The situation right now is very reminiscent of that wave A top. You can see a real serious hump in momentum, overbought sentiment, extreme sentiment to the upside. But this never lasts. So that reversed, and we got a significant sell-off. This will reverse, and we will get a significant sell-off here as well. So it remains to be seen. I suspect this momentum high this momentum reversal will feed into that initial wave 1 down, but it remains to be seen on the chart itself. So until that happens, we've got 3 waves up, we've got a top forming, we've got the momentum indicators to show exactly what's happening on the longer term. This is the daily chart. On the 4-hour count, you can see the exact same thing. We've got that drift in momentum. Extreme highs at the wave 3, a drift off since then. Maybe this is still a 4th and a 5th wave completing. That's probably the best guess scenario at this point in time. The hourly count is probably still up for grabs. I was toying with the idea over the last few days that we have a 5 waves down, but the bounce in the last day really has kind of brought that into question. I think it's most likely going to head higher again. But as I say that, maybe the market will just reject me completely and head lower. But for the moment, the longer term charts all point one way. The short term chart will get there. Okay, let's move on. The Dow, gold. It looks like we've got this wave C of 2 now competing for our attention here. The initial decline has not resulted in was impulsive, but it has not resulted in how would I say, an acceleration phase, say into a third wave of wave C. So it looks like we've got wave 1 and 2 still in play, and I am looking towards about 1790 for this pattern to complete. On the 4-hour count, You can see that's the wave B top. I suppose that alternate count is still still possible here, but once we break that 1930 level, we will pretty much rule out that alternate count. And for the moment, it looks like the market is tending to head that way. If we are starting, or if we are maintaining a third wave decline here, then we should, maybe not today, but we should next week see a continuation to the downside. And I think that will result in probably a break of 1912 at least in wave 3. Now here is the hourly count. See a possible wave 2 top here, 5 waves down in wave 1, expanded flat correction wave 2, 5 waves down in wave 1 of 3 of 3. We've got a correction. Last night I was talking about a possible rally into this declining trend line. So that's the trend line that catches the top, this wave 2 top. Wave 2 in pink punched through and then fell back down. Wave 2 in black, will that punch through and fall back down? That's the theory here. Let's see if the reality conforms with that. There could also be a larger wave 2 pattern going on here, but we'll deal with that tonight. For the moment, there's no reason to change this current tack. We'll see how today's trade goes. Okay, I think the pre-market is probably open now in the US, so that's why we've got this little bounce. So here's crude oil. We're still looking at a possible larger wave 4 scenario here. Wave 4 scenario unfolding, and we should have a continuation lower again in the next, probably towards the middle of next week. The hourly count suggests we've got a pretty complex pattern. It's got a 5 triangle and 5, which is a little bit strange. I suppose there's some sort of combination going on here. Overall, this should trace out 3 waves up. So this triangle has just dragged sideways for nigh on a month now. You would think that with all that's going on in the world, that crude oil should be skyrocketing, but it ain't. And as you saw the Saudis admit over the last couple of weeks, demand just ain't there. So people are, even in the midst of winter, demand ain't there. So that should say something to you. We've got an ABCD possible D wave top complete this morning, last night. If the triangle pattern for wave B actually holds, then we should get 3 waves down in wave E to complete, and then a rally in wave C of 4. So this wave C of 4 will take us probably back towards about 78 again. That'll complete 3 waves up, and then we'll deal with a reversal down to wave 5 again. So that's the idea for crude oil. And obviously these are all tracked every night on the nightly updates. The pattern in the S&P looks like we're going to break to a new all-time high today. No matter how much I don't want it to happen, but that's exactly what looks like happening right now. The B wave pattern that was the alternate pattern is now the pattern. So we've got wave C of B underway here. So it's more or less the same as the Dow, and the outcome is the same as the Dow. So no matter what pattern brings you into a high, the high comes and the reversal comes. Excuse me. We've got a possible 5-wave, 5th wave underway within this 5-wave rally of wave C. So you can see that we probably parse out some sort of a meager rally into that top trend channel line there. And as we do that, depending on how the internal pattern goes for wave 5, we should, closer to the time, let's go back to the 4-hour count, we should, closer to the time, be able to again look for a top once we close out the trend channel and we reverse. So it's That's one thing I always fail on, is the capacity for people to not see what's happening, to blindly refuse to see what's going on. And in this case, people blindly refuse to see the emergence of a third world war. They blindly refuse to see deflation. They blindly refuse to see, the crumbling underbelly of economic activity beneath their feet. The ground beneath their feet actually crumbling. No one wants to look at it. So be it. Let the algorithms bid until all else fails. Okay, let's move on. Silver, we have hit a kind of a confirmation this week. We came down far enough to break the previous low, so we haven't done that in gold yet. Excuse me. My throat is going as I spoke. There's a frog growing in my throat as I talk. So this B wave top, I think, is pretty much secure at this point. We've got a 1 and a 2 underway. It depends whether wave 2 is done or we have some sort of, a larger flat pattern developing here. But we should have 5 waves down in the works into wave C, pending again on the pattern. And as long as wave C holds above 1990, then we are still a go here. So the minimum target for wave C would be a break of $20.68. So, somewhere down around $20 to complete 5 waves down. But it doesn't mean that is where it's going to stop. So the 1990 low marks the previous wave 2 in blue. So if we break that line, then we are heading all the way down, and we are going to close out the larger trend channel. And that larger trend channel suggests a low down around $14. So, yeah, silver bulls better hope not. At the moment, that's where we're pointing. So we have through ebbs up. The main pattern at the moment suggests that this is a lower degree 1-2 pattern, and we should hold above $20. If that 1990 level goes, then it's a free for all for silver. The short-term count is probably up for grabs at the moment. We have a wave 1 and 2, and we have a possible wave 1 looking for that closeout of wave 2 somewhere around 23.50, and then next week we'd look for wave 3 down. Okay, so we'll do Bitcoin, sure, why not? Possible fifth wave top of wave C of B. This is very, 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 I'm just after copping, or just after realizing this is so very similar to what the stock market is saying. A 3-wave rally. This is not a new all-time high, but it is a B wave high. 3-wave rally, excessive extremes in bullishness. The momentum did turn. The momentum actually turned probably within that wave 3 of C. We peaked to a new lower high momentum back in December, and then we went sideways. We pipped to a new high. We hit 62% retracement, and then we reversed again. So that last rally has been completely reversed now. So that maybe you'd look for something like that in the stock market. So we've got all the same kind of how would you say internals. We've got a B wave top also, but we just haven't had the impulse of decline yet. So the hourly count is looking like 5 waves down. It would be nice to see a break of that 40,000 level to complete wave 1. We'll see whether we get there or not. It looks like we're within wave 5 of 1 now. So we've got wave 1, 2, 3, and 4. Maybe one last punch in wave 5 of 1 to break 40,000, and then we'd look for a correction higher in wave 2, probably back towards 44 or 43, something like that, over the next few weeks in 3 waves. So that is over the next probably week and a half maybe. That closes out the patterns for this week. There's one other pattern that I like to talk about, and that is the pattern of your life. I always give the simple gospel here, the good news of the Messiah, the prophesied Messiah. If you go back into the Old Testament, you read it, it's all about pictures, types, and shadows of what God was going to do with Messiah. It's everywhere. And that pattern suggests, or doesn't suggest, the pattern of your life suggests that you will meet your Maker. And what God's word tells us is that there's two possible scenarios that you can meet your Maker in. You can meet your Maker carrying your own sin, or you can meet your Maker with someone else having paid for your sin. So that's the two states. And all that Jesus said for you to walk from one state to another is to believe that he died on the cross for your sin and that he rose again on the third day because he is God. And there are, everyone likes to say, the politician in you likes to say there's a million different ways. There's so many different ways to God. They don't be so exclusive. Don't be so dismissive of other religions, because they all speak of God and being good and working your way through life and trying to become a better person. But the story of salvation, the story of God of the Bible, is not that story. God knows you're depraved. We live in a depraved land, a depraved and fallen creation, and we are fallen creatures. And the one thing he wants from us is the one thing nobody wants to give to him, and that is our trust in him, in what he did, and not what you will do, because he knows you're going to fail. And even when you say that you're going to, keep to this task or do this thing or do something, I'm going to try better, and I'm going to, follow whatever the 10 Commandments. I'm going to become a better person. I'm going to work my way up that ladder. You're going to fail because you are a fallen creature, and there is no other way about it. We are fallen, and we are plagued by the devil and demons. They will drag you down with both hands, kicking and screaming. The only way is the way, truth, and life. That is the Messiah, Jesus, Yeshua, who came, lived the perfect life under the law, died as the perfect sacrifice for all who believe. So, grab hold of that salvation, believe, receive eternal life, and then try and follow. After that, make sure of your eternity first, and then after that, try and, with the help of the Holy Spirit, try and do work for the Lord. Work on yourself, work within your family, tidy up your own room first, as they say. Okay, that's that. If I'm here next week, there's no guarantee I will. We'll do it all again. Until then, sayonara. God bless.